Hey, welcome to New Jump City, everybody, where we recap the week in American and Japanese sequential art. I am your host, Christian, the unbiased king, Espinal. And joining me through Discord, it is the man, the myth, the legend. It is the tank top god, Joshua Gangsta Tomko.
It's called partner, but it should be called Gangsta Time.
What up, everybody listening? What's good, Chris? What up, Brian?
Yeah. Also joining us is the he's back. I'm used to calling you the disembodied voice of our producer, but we got a face to the voice now. It is Edgelord Big News Brian.
Sup, pussies?
Oh my god. Whoa. Hey, coming in hard.
That's a little aggressive.
Jeez,
That's a little aggressive. I'm sorry.
Brian, this is a family show, okay? We don't need you shooting off at the mouth here. This is a fucking family show.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean it.
All right.
I meant to say, what's up, nerds, okay? What's up, nerds?
Okay. Well, you better watch that tone going forward.
It's like I take it back. Pussies!
No! Well, we're all here. It is Manga Monday. We have only 3 series to talk about, but we're going to do some questions. We're going to do 2 questions today from longtime listener, not first-time emailer, my sketchy Mike. But before we get into all that, let's get into plugs. You could find me at the Chris Espinal on Twitter and Instagram. Joshua Cole, where can they find you?
At JDCole_37. That's on Instagram, and at NYChillin with an EN, not an ING at the end. And that's on Twitter.
Ooh, yeah. Brian?
You can find me at b.esp on both Instagram and Twitter. And if you ever want to catch me when I'm streaming, you can find me at twitch.tv/itspunchline.
Oh, yeah. You can follow the show.
He's been into Valorant.
Yeah, he's been into Valorant.
He's been into that.
I've been on
really
the craziest
rank up.
I've been on the craziest Valorant slump lately, though.
Slump?
It's been a real big problem. Ever since I changed my chair, I haven't been the same.
All right.
Sure, Brian. Why don't you play Smash Bros and grind some combos out and some movement with Link or something?
Yeah.
I suck at fighting games. I'm just accepting that.
I mean, you don't know that. Maybe your new chair will make you stronger at Smash Brothers.
Oh,
I doubt it.
It's
the armrests. It's like the arms on the chair are the worst part because it's like so narrow and you can't really adjust them.
Well, at this point, if you guys want to watch Brian be terrible at Valorant because of his chair, you could check out twitch.tv/itspunchline. You could follow the show itself at New Jump City on Twitter and Instagram. Follow us on Twitter especially because we'll do a really good chapter of the week poll. We have another winner this week. The votes are coming back. Very cool. If you guys want to participate in the poll, I put them up an hour or 2 after they drop on Viz's official website. We do the official release recaps on here, so that's how we do things. Check us out on there. Cast your vote, and we'll reveal it on the show. You can email us at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com with any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want us to talk about, anything you guys want us to improve about the show. Let us know through there, or you can comment under the videos that you're watching, whether it's the full version of the podcast or the little highlight breakouts that we make for you guys every week. And while you're at it, give us a subscribe, like, share, do all the things that folks need to do. I need to say it more often, I guess, on the pod for the video versions, but I forget. But do it if you're listening to the full version. If you prefer audio podcasts, we're on pretty much every audio podcast platform there is. Check us out on any of those. iTunes, Spotify, Pandora, Amazon Music, wherever you listen to podcasts. We're likely on there, so check us out. And I think that's it. Without further ado, let's get into the show proper. One Piece.
One Piece.
One Piece. This is One Piece chapter 1051, Shogun of Wano, Kozuki Momonosuke. Cover page update. The Vinsmoke family is just blown up at Whole Cake Island, it seems, and is now escaping emotionlessly. So, very cool. I guess they made it out. Good for them. Meanwhile, we cut into the chapter proper. Last we left off, Kaido's defeat has been announced across all of Onigashima and now all of Wano, and the Akazaya 9 are now emerging from the smoke. And turns out everybody's okay. Keenanmon's okay. Everyone's okay. Is Kiku okay? I didn't even peep if he's okay or she's okay. Oh man, for whatever reason, the reader has been has shorted out on me. But anyway, they're all coming through the smoke. It's very cool. And oh man, why is these first few pages weird? Anyway, back to Onigashima. Yamato introduces himself to the crew as someone who is actually going to be joining their crew. So
like, all right, Yamato, fucking relax, okay?
Yeah,
please.
Yeah, Nami and Usopp.
Or you end up part of the big crew, the B-Leaguers.
The B-Leaguers, yeah, the fleet.
B-listers, yeah, the fleet.
Yeah. Nami and Usopp are shocked. Frankie's like, huh? Our crew? On our crew?
What are you talking about? Who are you?
Yeah, who are you? Oh, Kiku did survive. The page finally loaded. It was very weird. Yeah, Kiku made it. Anyway, so Sanji and Brook are hype. They're like, yeah, another girl on the team. And Jinbei's like, it's nice of you to invite yourself, but it's the captain that decides that.
Oh, I love that Jinbei check them niggas, yo. He's really the second hand. Like, Zoro's the second hand man, but only because he's the strongest. Jinbei's is the next acting captain. Well, I used to think Robin would be the next, she would be the second in command, but definitely Jinbei.
Yeah.
I mean,
say that again, Josh?
He was his own captain.
Yeah. Besides, Zoro is out of commission at the moment. He's currently, I guess, fighting for his life.
Well, that too, yeah.
Yeah, so after they check on Luffy, he's being tended to by Chopper, as well as Zoro. Zoro's also being tended to. The little henchmen from Kaido's crew all run away. And Jinbei's like, I mean, it seems like they've given up, so what's the harm? Let them go.
Yeah, so we could chill.
Yeah. So yeah, they run away. And Otama is basically talking about the remaining what are the gifters? They're the gifters. They're just also shouting to stay there. Don't move, all that stuff. And Otama and Usopp's like, hey, what happens with those guys? Because Otama made them eat her little cheek dumplings that make them kind of mind controlled. And she talks about how, sometimes these guys tend to revert to who they are, and sometimes they remain my buddies, and they stick with me. Horselina seems to have survived the battle, and she's like, I hope you stay with me too, Horselina. Like not as a servant, but as a mommy. And Horselina's like, oh, so cute. Very cute little moment. So they turn back to the action on Wano. All of the Akazaya 9 are knelt down in this cool panel where we see what looks to be Momonosuke emerging from the smoke, covered by the smoke. It's very cool, and everybody's just reacting to who this is. He's talking about how he's glad that it's been 20 years since Odin died. I'm glad you guys have survived all these long and difficult years. And at that moment, we see Otama kind of getting this little flashback about her parents dying in the factory, in the weapons factory that Kaido has basically enslaved the people of Wano in. Oh man, another one. Damn. This reader's weird. I'm going to download this real fast. But damn. I'm sorry guys. This shit just
Wait to load up.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell happened with this. The reader's been acting up for a moment there.
Okay. I mean, they're basically retelling the story that we should kind of remember about time of that, you know?
Yeah, but more specifically, okay, I got it. It's back to normal. I downloaded the chapter because it was bugging out. Okay, so, you know, she's, it's cuts to her being a child selling hats and, you know, being basically an orphan on the streets of Wano, where she finds Tengu, and he's telling her basically like, you're an orphan, just bear with it, only for a few more years until the day that a powerful samurai called the Kozuki return and vanquish the ogres for good. And we cut to the present, and that day has finally fucking come, and she starts breaking down into tears in Nami's arms, and she remembers what Luffy said about making sure by the time that they leave Wano that it'll be a place where they can eat as much as they want every single day. And Momonosuke's speech continues over the loudspeaker, even telling them about how they started the alliance with the pirates and the ninja and the Minks to raid Onigashima. That's something that didn't happen in Alabasta. They had to kind of keep like the Straw Hats' involvement in that a secret for the most part. Yeah, and we see Luffy actually like kind of smiling, unconscious. I don't know if he could hear it really, but he's smiling because, you know, he won the battle regardless of whether he hears it or not. And Momonosuke puts up his sword. He says, Kaido, Orochi, the Animal Kingdom pirates, every eagle that plagues our fair land has been vanquished. Kid wasn't part of the alliance initially, so he's like, the what alliance? I just picked that panel. So he's not really familiar with it.
I mean, they made their own alliance earlier, so it can't be tight.
Yeah. I guess he just wasn't like privy to the whole alliance altogether, but yeah. So at that point, Momonosuke actually runs out of things to say, because, you know, public speaking is not his forte, but Kinemon encourages him to just keep going and bluff his heart out, make shit up. And that's when Momonosuke talks about how his father gave him the name that means invincible. Under my rule, this parched and ruined land will turn to a paradise on earth. Lend me your strength and let us work towards this end together. I've traveled 20 years to save you all from now on. And we get a full 2-page spread of Momonosuke's adult form. And he says, I, Kozuki Momonosuke, will lead the land of Wano. Tears all around. Everybody starts breaking down. And he starts, Momonosuke thinks to himself that he's going to follow in his father's footsteps. And the entire country of Wano cheers. You know, and we get like this cool like narration, you know, poetic narration thing as the chapter closes out with the narration concluding, this is the birth of the man who would be known around the world as the great shogun of Wano, Kozuki Momonosuke. And that's where the chapter ends. So, Josh, what did you think about this chapter?
Okay, I'm just going to go to the very first thing that was on my mind after finishing reading this chapter. Momonosuke should have joined the crew instead of Yamato.
That's a hot take. Why?
He doesn't have to be a strong fighter or anything like that. I just figured the point is that, and I get that they're doing that with Yamato, right? Because she calls herself Odin and wants to travel the world like he did, but Momonosuke should have did that, man. He's still so young, and I thought this would have been like a more rewarding feeling to see him in his older form and to say like, all right, I'm going to go out and travel. You know what I'm saying? They don't got a dragon in the crew. That's important. That's helpful. That's unique.
Yeah.
Nobody else has. And then what's Yamato? She's just a strong person with a
mystical zone. She has an ancient zone as well.
Come on, we already got a zone on the crew.
She has an ancient zone.
Yeah, come on, man.
Or a mythical zone. She's similar to Yamato in that way. But go on.
No, I mean that's about it. I guess I don't know. I'm not in love with Yamato as as a crew member, and I felt that way about every like even the crew members I don't like that much. All of them, I thought it was really cool. When they joined the crew, and I just don't have that same feeling with Yamato.
Mm.
And I thought it would have been real proper with had it been Momonosuke. I mean, he was with them this whole time. You know what I'm saying? Since Punk Hazard, like since in the Punk Hazard, he's been with them like through so much shit and learned so much. So I don't know. Like he's a young leader. You know what I'm saying? He's someone that he needs to go learn the world more and go through some more shit before he's ready to lead a whole country. I'm not saying he can't do it now. That narrative would have been so nice. That's what I would have liked to see.
Mm.
With all of that said, I mean, it was a nice little wrap up to the chapter. I mean, it kind of brought us back with the little girl, Toma.
Oh, yeah, Otama.
Otama, yeah. Kind of letting us know, like, yeah, guys, this country was really fucked up, and they just like changed everything. So, these people's lives are going to change. They cured the heartland of Wano, therefore also cleansing the spirituality of all Japanese people in the real world. And so it was just done well. What can I say?
Yeah.
Oh no, I like that there was no cliffhanger at the end of this. Yeah. You know what that means.
Post-Wano.
Oh yeah.
That's sick. Were those all your thoughts?
Pretty much. Brian, you have any thoughts that stick out from this chapter?
I kind of agree. Like, I did kind of want Momonosuke to be the one to set sail with the Straw Hats, and honestly, I still think that could possibly happen. Just because, like, I said this a long ass time ago, but I still feel like Momonosuke and Yamamoto. What, I forget, how do you say it? Yamato. I feel like they both embody two different parts of Odin. Like, they both embody the parts of Odin that, like, could have been, like, I feel like, how there was the version of Odin that wanted to go out to sea and didn't want to lead his nation, and then there's the part of him that regrets leaving.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like they both could play both sides of that same thing, where Yamato wants to go out to sea, but her place is really in Wano, or Momonosuke wants to lead Wano, but his place is still going out to sea and learning about the world. So I feel like they could do that kind of thing, like a switcheroo, and this could be kind of like a subversion of expectations. So you never know. Oda likes to surprise sometimes or catch people off guard. Because again, we haven't seen what Luffy has chosen yet when it comes to Yamato joining the crew. I feel like Oda doesn't usually write that stuff in without there being something that has to be taken care of. So we'll see in the weeks to come what the verdict is on it. But for now, I think Yamato is fine joining the crew if it does happen. They really did need another powerhouse on the crew, and Yamato is going to bring that shit for sure.
Yeah.
I have just a quick rebuttal.
Yeah.
That I know you get into some thoughts, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
I was just thinking further, like, Yamato, like, what's good with all these Animal Kingdom pirates? I'm not saying Kaido is dead and gone forever, but they still in the land, they still in the area. I think Yamato should have been the person to take over that group and then, like, force them to protect Wano or something like that. You know what I mean? Protect the seas and also be part of, down with Luffy's. Like, because they're not Wano, they could be just, they'll be indoctrinated in Luffy's crew. His, what do they call it? His fleet?
The Straw Hat Grand Fleet.
Yeah, right. Like I feel like that would have fit a little bit more proper. And then it's like, come on, Momonosuke has the voice of all things, so it would have been him and Luffy. And Luffy's kind of a goofball. So in situations where he would have been hearing things, it would have been nice for there to be another person to give a different perspective. Because I don't think Usopp is going to develop that level of hockey. But those are just my last thoughts on that situation.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about all that stuff. I do think Momonosuke is going to end up staying in Wano. I don't think because I don't know who else is going to lead Wano. I don't know. I don't think they'll accept Yamato, and I don't think like Hiyori will be a shogun necessarily. You don't
think Lady Toki could do it?
Who?
Lady Toki? Well, his daughter,
his sister.
Yeah, no, I don't know if they'll like accept Hiyori. It could be like a custom thing, but I don't know.
That's so dope.
I technically like it would have to be a samurai because shogunate are like traditionally, I guess, samurais, but I could be wrong about that. This is just from what I understand about like the Kozuki clan in general.
Could be Kinemon.
No way, they're not gonna let Kinemon. Kinemon's
why not?
Kinemon was kind of like known as like the village idiot for the longest time before he.
But think about the growth. Sorry to talk over your thoughts.
No, I just don't see it. I mean, it's very possible that Momonosuke could go with them, but I don't see it because he does need to stay. I don't know who else is supposed to be there. Like these people are, like the people of Wano are just gonna have like just some like sub ruler, like when Momonosuke just fucks off to go, like in random adventures. I think he needs to be there to build it up again and make it his own, kind of. Because, like, Kaido left that shit in ruins, you know what I mean? And they were waiting for him, specifically. So, I don't really see him leaving. And I think, like, I'd be okay with him staying. Because he would have... there's nothing stopping him from having a role later on. I think there's a lot of indication that Momonosuke is going to return if he does remain in Wano. That doesn't mean he has to be a pirate. I don't think they'd... love it. Like, I feel like it'd be different if he were a pirate than if Odin was a pirate. Because I don't think Odin qualified himself as such. He was more of an adventurer than a pirate. You know what I mean? And Luffy's definitely, like, doing pirate shit out there, But I don't know. I feel like this whole time Luffy's been also teaching him leadership and all that stuff and kind of grooming him to be an effective leader. We had these little moments where Momonosuke would just like flash to what Luffy taught him, so I feel like that's what it's been building up for. It's like he's going to take Luffy's example and be kind of like a leader like him, and maybe open the borders of Wano. I think he's not going to do it right now because Wano's kind of in ruins right now, and it's not in any position to be like exposed to the world this way.
Right.
So yeah, I think a lot of things has to be done. I don't know if Momonosuke could just up and leave Wano after everything that's happened and what all the people are expecting. At the same time, I also don't know if Yamato will end up really joining. I feel like we would know for sure by now. And I feel the same way you guys feel, where I like Yamato, but like he's not a crew member yet. All the other crew members have had some time on their hands before becoming like a part of the core Thousand Sunny crew, so I think the best case scenario is something that you mentioned, Josh. I think like Yamato might take hold of the Animal Kingdom pirates that are remaining and kind of be part of the Grand Fleet, and still get what he wants in exploring the world. He just won't do it with Luffy necessarily. He'll just have a crew of his own and sail and see the world that way. In the same way that, all the others did.
I did, yeah.
So that's what I could be wrong about all this shit. But I don't know. I feel like all this buildup was for Momonosuke to kind of like take over at Wano. And it'd be weird if he didn't, in a way. It's like, we did all these things to free you guys. Bye now,
Peace, I'm going to go figure out the world a little bit. Then I'm going to be back in.
I'm going to go out and really find myself.
Yeah. Hold it down for me, Kinemon.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, like, I don't think he'd be able to leave without taking the Yakuzaya 9 with him, so that's, like, 9 other characters that you'd have to... Like, I think theoretically, in character, I don't think any of them would just, like, let him leave without them. So maybe Momonosuke, in theory, could also be part of the fleet in that way. He can be... Him and the Akazaya 9 could just, like, be part of the fleet as well. So
the whole country is down for him. What you talking about? That's Straw Hat Nation.
Yeah, that's Straw Hat. Yeah, that is Straw Hat Nation. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. As for the chapter itself, what else happened? Otama's story was appropriately sad.
Appropriately
made me sad. I was like, oh, Otama, and it, she was the first character that we actually met on Wano. So it's good to finally have her closure. Yeah, this is a good chapter. It's just like epilogue, a bookend. To the Wano, and now I imagine we're going to be getting into the post-Wano material / obligatory post-arc celebration party thing, where they're actually going to probably like finally officially induct Jinbei into the crew by having the sake cups. That was interrupted a while back. They didn't do it. They said that they would wait until they freed Wano so they could do it all together. And you know what? I think by doing the sake cups with Wano, the entire nation of Wano being like, we're on the Straw Hat Grand Fleet, this entire country.
Straw Hat.
So I think that would be way cooler if like he ends up inducting pretty much everybody in Wano into the Grand Fleet to a degree. I think that'd be sick. But
I wonder what's next, because there's still the Marines outside, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah. I forgot about that. You're right.
So I wonder if them not opening Momonosuke's decision to not open Wano's borders is a temporary thing until he meets with the Navy, or if it's a long-term thing for a specific reason.
Yeah, he said yet. He said he's not going to open the borders yet. And I think part of that is just like, well, I got to get my shit together here first. I have to get Wano's shit together collectively before
does that mean Zunisha is the key to opening up Wano's borders?
No, I mean, the opening of Wano's borders is just basically a decision. I will invite the Navy or the world government onto my land so we can negotiate like my involvement in it or whatever the case may be. It's not like a physical thing that needs to be done. It's like Momonosuke has to decide, and then, there will be steps implemented to do so. Zunisha will probably stick around Wano, probably just to keep it safe and smack marine ships out of the way until it's time. But yeah, that's all that entails, I think. I don't think there's like a specific like magical element to it. I think it's literally like Momonosuke is not ready to open it, and it's a bureaucratic thing, more than anything.
I just wanted a One Piece info dump already.
Yeah, I mean, I think they'd have to leave Wano in order to get that info dump because there's no outside world news coming into Wano, and there hasn't been in forever. So, we'll see. It might be a while before we get our coveted post-arc info dump. But those were my thoughts. This was a pretty cool chapter. This was the audience voted really good chapter of the week, by the way.
Certified RGC. Certified RGC. Certified RGC.
And if you like that, if you want to vote in the poll, you can follow us at New Jump City on Twitter. And we put up the poll a couple hours after the chapter is out on the official release. So check us out there. But yeah, this was the audience voted. I think it won 51% of the vote. But everything got a little vote this week, so that's pretty cool. But those are my thoughts. Do you guys have any rebuttals? Any final thoughts? All right. With that being said, let's move onward. My Hero Academia.
Brian Academia.
This is My Hero Academia, chapter 355, Extras. Last we left off, Endeavor got hit pretty bad by an all-for-one attack, and Hawks was about to get it too, But he got saved by the unlikely duo of Jiro and Tokoyami, who have come in and flying to the rescue. Pretty cool team up moment. We pretty much pick up where we last left off. Endeavor lands on the ground pretty hard, and if you there's this one panel of his face where he's just like just suffering in multiple ways. This is both physical and emotional distress on his face right now. He can't fucking stand it. What's happening to him? So yeah, he's pretty wounded and he's down for now, it seems. Meanwhile, we cut back to up to the sky where Hawks is like, "Holy shit, what are these kids doing here? Hell yeah!"
Hell yeah!
So he looks up to Tokoyami, starting to think about. Actually, Tokoyami yells down to him. He's like, "I was sent to this location as additional support in the event of stalemates between the top powers. Isn't that right?" And he looks down, and Hawks looks up, and he says, like, "Help me out again, hero." And Tokoyami's like, "Yeah."
Of course.
Hell yeah.
Right now, he's One for All's looking right at me, so
yeah. I mean, I better help. Might as well. All for One does his gross arm thing. All of his powers are disgusting. You can't just have like a regular looking power. He releases these tendrils with mouths on them, like flying out of his arms, all gross and stuff. Tokoyami dodges them in midair. Hawks uses his feathers to fly Jiro through like the gaps. It was pretty cool. And he takes the opportunity to just like slash All for One in his mask, his life support mask. And he yells to them to aim for the mask as well. Jiro is just like shooken up a little bit because she almost died. So she's like, "Whoa." Yeah, she's like, "Whoa, I couldn't even see that coming. Midoriya, Aoyama, you're telling me this was the threat that was looming over you this whole time?" Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah, you got it. And then he does, All for One does this weird mouth arm cannon thing. It has a nose. Like
beam of gross excellence.
Yeah, what was it?
I said a beam of gross excellence.
Yeah, it's not great.
Shoots it and he's like in a T-pose like,
yeah.
Witness my magnificent attack.
My awesome face hand beam. He blasts them, but Hawks uses his feathers to, I think, like divert the blast so it doesn't they don't take it head on. He does what he always does. He talks shit. He's like, "You children just happen to be paired off with these big shots, yet you imagine yourselves special somehow, worthy of facing the Demon Lord himself."
He's he talks shit to get into your head. That's like his character. That is part of his ability.
Yeah.
Pseudo ability.
He's the guy who talks mad shit in a online video game.
Oh yeah.
When you're trying your heart out to fucking beat his ass, he's in your head.
Yeah. Is this flashbacks from your Valorant streaming days where the people talking shit?
That's me actually. I'm that guy.
You're All for One. It explains so much.
Okay. Like
I'm the online shit talker. I'm sorry. I'm All for One.
Oh my god. But yeah, Jiro just responds to all that. He's like, "Screw all that. It doesn't matter. My problem is that you're the one who made my pals cry." And she does her heartbeat sound. And All for One seems to be like flying through that. He's like making his way up.
She only has one ear.
Oh, she does only have one ear. Wow, I didn't even catch that. Damn. That's brutal. That's like one of her main weapons taken out is her earlobe. I didn't even see that. Sheesh. So, yeah, he's coming closer, but then he's about to do something. Another gross power, probably. but then he gets held back by the quirks that he's stolen in the past. They're very wills that live within the All for One verse, I imagine. And they start holding him back. And he's like, wow, impossible. Even New Order didn't manage this. They were spurred on by this, by the weakness of such pushovers. We then get, he's stuck in the middle of Jiro's blast, and Hawk pulls up behind him, and he sees the little cracks that he's been making in All for One's armor, or life support mask this whole time. He comes in, and he smacks the shit out of it, blasting off the mask a little bit. You get to see his little lima bean face, cracking through a little bit. And that's where the chapter ends. Big 2-page spread where Hawk's baseball bat swings as hard as he can, his face. And that was My Hero Academia. Josh, what did you think about this chapter?
Man, this shit was pretty lit because he hit his head so hard with that sword it fucking shattered.
Yeah.
He put his all into that one, and he drew that very well. Man, you want to talk about bullshit? Chris, what am I about to say?
I don't know. I never know what you're about to say.
Contrivance?
Oh, this is your contrivance? What?
Oh, no. All right. If you go to page 12 of 15, you will spot the panel of contrivance.
Oh, the wills of the other quirks stopping him?
He says, impossible. Even New Order didn't manage this. Order.
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
I mean, I'll save it for my thoughts. You continue onward.
This Jiro was so loud, the sound waves went through his body and woke up the quirks. Maybe that's what it was.
I don't know what to say.
I'm running his fucking mouth. You know what? I'll hold the suspension of disbelief. It's cool. It happened, and the kids got to show out. Tokoyami ain't do anything but fly around, but the manga's not over, right? So more opportunities. I want to see Black Shadow get out there and go fucking nuts.
I
want to see. Still daytime though.
Yeah, he is weaker during this time.
All right, well, later in the day.
Later at night. When the moon comes out.
A little bit later in the arc. Yeah. Maybe like at dusk, like around 8 o'clock or something.
8 o'clock, 8:30?
Yeah.
8:45?
Yeah, that's about right. Not right now.
Not right now.
Yeah. Anyway, it was a cool chapter altogether. I mean, All for One is like this comic mischievous villain, and I have mixed feelings about it, but it's enjoyable, I get it. Like, I recognize that that's part of his game, and he does talk some pretty good shit. I like it. He got his face cracked open, and once Endeavor gets over his anguish, he's gonna barbecue his lima bean ass. Lima bean face.
Lima bean face.
Lima bean face. Alright, that's all I got. I like the chapter. It wasn't my RGC though.
Well, what did you think, Brian? Is this your RGC?
Yeah, it is.
Oh my god.
Certified RGC. Certified RGC. Certified RGC.
I really like this fucking chapter just because, the art is top tier, he's kind of sowing in the seeds for the story of the fight. I think this whole fight boils down to when Endeavor finds out that Dabi got defeated. Once he finds out that Dabi got defeated, I feel like that'll be the turning point in this fight. Just because a lot of this fight against All for One hinges on Endeavor being 100%, and he didn't come into this fight 100%. So I really like that Jiro is getting some really cool moments, still it's still going. I really fucking like that. Give me more cast members doing their thing. I'm really interested to learn more about how his quirk works, because I didn't know that it was like a whole thing. Like, I didn't know that it was a whole, like, their spirits are actually embodied in the quirks. Now that I think about it, it makes a little bit of sense just because of how One for All works. Because One for All has the spirits of the quirk users inside too. And also, does this mean whenever One for All, like, whenever All for One, like, transfers a quirk over to somebody, that he's literally putting another spirit inside of their body? Like, this just raises a lot of questions, this chapter, when it comes to how that quirk works specifically.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm really looking forward to see what comes up in these next coming chapters.
Yeah. I guess, like, to correct you real fast, Brian, Endeavor does know that Dabi has been defeated.
Oh, he does?
Yeah, he heard the broadcast pretty much all around, and that's one of the things that, like, All for One was, like, teasing about. Is like, oh, you had to let Toya do it. You had to let Shoto do it. You couldn't do it yourself. All that stuff. But yeah, I think Endeavor knows for sure. As far as the visages go, I don't know if it's super expressed that, like, the other quirks have, like, kind of a soul to them, or, like, a mind of their own. I think it does. Just because, like, I think of how the quirk singularity works. I think, like, as quirks evolved, they became more very entwined in people's, like, souls in general. So I could buy it, because, you see the visages of the other One for All people. They exist, I think, in the same way, and I wouldn't be surprised if the rules applied for most other people. It's just maybe harder for other people to manifest in the same way that the One for All visages do. But yeah, that's my thought on that. I guess my overall thoughts in the chapter is, man, this is I really like this chapter a lot too. I'm trying to I don't think it's my RGC quite yet. It was super close. The more that I think about it just wasn't, but it was, like, neck and neck with the next guy. But I will say this was a pretty good chapter overall. I do like that Jiro and Tokoyami are more involved in this battle. I feel like All for One's fighting style is very much just like, check out my cool tendrils. I do weird things with my hands and my body. And it's not a lot of diversity in his attacks, but he is a menacing kind of villain in general. I love that Hawks is... He's like very nerfed at this point, but he's still doing his thing and, keeping the kids alive so they can do, the harder work. Again, I really like that Jiro is getting a little bit more spotlight. She's one of the characters that we've seen in the past get special, like, arc specific treatment where her character has been developed. I like that. I agree that it's maybe a little contrivance that all of a sudden the other visages of everybody's quirks can intervene in All for One's attacks, but I'll let it slide. It didn't bother me all that much, but I did clock that. I was like, all right, you get by with this one, I guess. That last 2-page spread was sick. It was pretty cool. Pretty cool chapter overall. I don't have much else to say about My Hero Academia. Any final rebuttals? Anything else before we move onward?
All right. I'll say something about the the vestiges. It's not. I understand that the quirks have souls. It wasn't. It's not that I didn't believe this is something that could happen. It was that, why now? Why didn't they stand up, like, when he was fighting against All Might? You know what I'm saying? It would have been nice to save his ass.
Yeah, no, I agree. I feel like it's not the fact that there are visages that can intervene. It's that it feels like there wasn't like a precedent set up for it outside of the.
No, I'm just like, you're right. And he even says not even New Order could do that. Did it to this level.
Yeah.
Come on, man. It's like he added that in. It's like, was that supposed to like...
Oh, maybe there's something special about Jiro's quirk that we don't know about. Like maybe it's more than just a sound quirk. Maybe it's something special. There's something more to it.
Yeah. I would say that it's maybe I would buy a lot of things, you know, like it's not absurd to me that like maybe Jiro's ability like weakened All For One. Maybe it's like All For One has to be kind of like on top of these guys so they don't take him over constantly. The thing is that, you know, it's a lot of like guessing to kind of like establish this, and it just reads a little convenient. It's not a huge deal to me, but that's just how it read initially as well for me. Because I don't have a problem with the visages coming in and stopping him at all. It just feels like it's a little convenient that at this particular moment, out of every particular moment in the series, that it happened. But you know, it could be Jiro's quirk, it could be whatever. It's just little things.
So I went to Google to look up a word, and it's called it's a noun called contrivance, right? The first definition, the first thing it says is the use of skills to bring something about or create something, right? The second one is a device, especially in literary or artistic composition, which gives a sense of artificiality.
Mm-hmm.
And then their sentence to go with that is the often tiresome contrivances of historical fiction. I can't make this up, guys. It's literally there on the website.
There you go. We now know what contrivance means. Yeah, no, it's a...
No, I feel like they're alluding to Jiro's quirk being not what it seems.
I think what
like,
they
I
said...
feel like there's something a little extra to it.
Yeah, I think All For One is definitely alluding that Jiro's quirk specifically is the one that kind of like caused these visages to gain some kind of foothold over All For One. So
what I think is like, I think if she's like, I think her sound has like, if there's love or something, like I feel like if people can hear it, there's some influence that it can have over people, like an inspirational influence or some sort.
Like kind of like Brooke, like how
yeah, kind of like that.
Or
kind of like you know the microphone guy, like the guy
President Mike. President Mike?
No, the other guy. There's the guy who like can kind of invigorate people in the what's it called? Damn. They're the kind of similar to that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, he like hypes you up.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I remember him. I just don't remember his name. Trumpet? I think that was his name.
Right. It was one of the bad guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, during the My Villain arc. Wow, good call. Good pull, Brian.
Yeah, it has to be something like that. Like a sound-related quirk that can affect people.
Yeah.
You know what? It's just now that happened. Brian caught something on the hook. He caught the idea fish. And then Chris and I came in with the assist and was like, to bring that shit up.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hey, I mean, again, if that's true, at this point, it's what's my favorite word? Conjecture. And that's the kind of point that I'm trying to make here. But you know what? I'll take it. You know, I don't have a problem with that. If that were the case, I'm fine with it. I have no problems. It's just all of a sudden, like my initial reaction seeing that panel where he was like, huh? My quirks are backfiring against me without New Order?
He smiled like, yo, this is crazy.
This is crazy. I can't believe that they're turning my own power against me, but it will not be enough.
And he was just kind of walking through it. He was moving towards her at a reasonable pace from what I seen, as far as a still picture could portray.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, those are all my thoughts. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, I'm all set. Brian, do you have any more thoughts?
Nope.
All right. Then let's move onward. Undead Unluck. This is Undead Unluck chapter 113, Forget. Last we left off, Nico has betrayed the Union and has just carved up Andy into little chicken nugget sized pizzas with his weird laser thing.
Soy cubes.
Yeah.
Tofu cubes.
Yeah. Tofu cubes. So Andy goes up to deal with him, but all the lasers are still like blasting it over and cutting him up a little bit. Nico talks about how he made a deal with Ghost, and he says that if I help ruin and hand over your soul in exchange, I'll receive my wife's soul. And basically, this battle has become whoever wins this fight gets to reclaim their lost lover. And Andy tries to convince him, like, hey, even if you do get your wife's soul, doesn't mean that she's coming back. And Ghost isn't bound to honor the deal. And Nico's like, he will honor it. Those guys are faithful to the rules. They're more trustworthy than people will ever be. And I'm like, that kind of tracks, I guess, because Ghost is a literal rule, and for rules to not follow rules feels a little weird. So I guess that's a good reason to trust him.
Yeah.
So
I mean, one of them negate a rule negator, so I don't know about that. He's the king of negators, actually. He negates everything.
No, well, Ruin is, yeah. He could be lying, but Ghost. He made a deal with Ghost, who is a rule.
He's a rule, but he's a shiesty rule.
No, we have no reason to believe that.
Shiesty rules that exist. You know, it used to be a shiesty rule.
Who?
That had to, huh?
Who?
You said who? Yeah. No, a shiesty rule.
Who was the shiesty rule? Say
that
again?
was a shiesty rule.
Say that again. Segregation. You cut out. I say that again. Segregation.
Yeah, that was a very shiesty rule.
It was a very shiesty rule.
Rules definitely be
shiesty.
Negative.
Sure. No, it's not that it's negative. It's that like the idea of rules, I guess, breaking their word. Like in the concept of this, if you made a rule if you made a deal with the rule of segregation, if the rule of segregation made a rule on itself, like a deal, which is a rule, would it break that rule itself being a rule?
I guess not. I don't.
No,
Chris, this is a lot.
You
left me something to think about.
Well, that's what we do in this podcast. We debate these absurd ideas by Undead Unluck that you can make deals with the concepts of ghosts, with the very concept, the idea of ghost. So there you go.
Undead Unluck.
Yeah. Anyway, so Andy just yells, "Is like you're supposed to be part of our team," and fuck, man, Nico just goes out and fucks him up a little bit. He does like Shen's technique, and it turns out he seems to be having these like little physical embodiments coming out of these orbs that he has of Gina and the Unvoid. I think it was the negator that two negators that Andy himself murdered. By the way,
yeah, sure was.
Yeah, two Union members that Andy negated, and they're astral dolls apparently that Nico created, and they seem to retain the abilities that that their original bodies had as well, and they start fucking Andy up as well. It's not doing great, And he's like, do you remember? These are the two you killed. Just now you simply recalled their memory. Do you remember the temperature and humidity on the day you killed Void? How Void dropped to the ground, the way his blood smelled? It's like, sheesh. The number of scars he had. I remember. And then we get this big fucking panel where he's like, I remember everything. Everything. Constantly and always. He says the pain of the comrades that he's lost, the sadness, all the information, he remembers it all. And yeah, pretty crazy. He's
that's why his eyes look like that. He can't sleep.
Yeah.
And Devin thought he had it rough.
Ooh.
Oh, you guys hear this story.
Oh, man. So he goes like, why are you doing this? Why are you making yourself suffer? Your lab members are dead and you let Ruin infiltrate the joint. The bodies are going to keep piling up. Why are you doing this? And he's like, this would have happened sooner or later. And he talks about how his ability manifested right before his wife's death. And from that point on, he has not been able to forget anything, no matter what they are. And he said, do you know what that means? It means my mind is being crushed by a never-ending stack of information. The only memory that he has of her before the manifestation that remains intact is the face of his wife on her deathbed. And it's the only thing he can remember of his wife is her dead face. And he said, and that's what kind of drove him insane. And it turns out we finally get the revelation that Nico's negation is unforgettable.
Which kind of shows how he was able to use Shen's ability, because he just remembered it.
Yeah, he just remembered
the physical form, apparently.
Yeah. All he had to do was kind of remember the punches, how he did it. If he sees it, he can remember it in theory, So yeah, we get that. Wow,
this makes a lot of sense. It would also lead to him being able to be a great scientist or really great anything, I guess, right?
Yeah, because he retains all the information he ever absorbs. So that's where the chapter ends. He gets a 2-page spread. We see Shikara and Huis as astral dolls as well. So he has both of their negations on his side as well, it seems.
Yo.
And that's unmovable and injustice. So, yikes. And that's where the chapter ends.
Guys, he's the strongest person so far.
Yeah.
What's the edge?
Okay.
I mean, what?
So, Josh, what are your thoughts?
Everywhere with him?
Huh?
Maybe the orbs can't follow him everywhere. Maybe they can only stay with him in the lab, or he can only bring a handful of them and it's not as potent when he's outside.
They seem to go with him wherever he goes. Whenever he has them with him. If he goes somewhere, he's floating on one always.
I think he just has the beam ones. These are special ones.
Who knows?
I'm trying to throw him a bone here.
Well, they keep him in the lab for other things, but yeah, Josh, what are your thoughts on Undead Unluck? Oh, this is also my RGC, so I'll do it for both of us.
Certified RGC. Certified RGC. Certified RGC.
Okay, so I thought it was I thought the delivery of his quirk was so well executed, the way they ended the chapter on it, and with the end of his story. I've said this many times that this author is so incredibly talented at making certain characters really endearing in a short amount of time. And it's because they're all linked to tragedy. But somehow through, I think more than 8 characters at this point that he's done this same kind of tragedy trope with. And in each case, it's been really unique and touching. He's literally saying that, the only thing I remember my wife is her dying, because I can't really remember the things I want to remember anyway. But when I developed my negation ability, I was able to remember that the most effectively. So that was his whole drive for joining Union, probably. He was like, bet, let's do whatever we got to do to slay God and recreate the world, and I'm going to get my wife back. Yes. And then Ghost pulled up and was like, look, fuck all that noise. Y'all losing. you can have your wife if you do this, this, and that for me. And he said, no problem.
Dude, no problem.
I'm not mad at him. He straight up told me, he's like, Andy, you trying to do the same exact thing with Fuko, my nigga.
Mm-hmm.
I just actually seen her soul. You might make it to the arc. You still gotta deal with those two assholes. You struggling against me? Come on. I mean, it makes sense. If he wins, if he beats, I mean, you know, if he can stop Andy, then Andy wasn't gonna make it past those two anyway, so he made the right deal. This guy through and through is not he is not evil in any sense. You can't convince me otherwise.
Yeah.
You know, did he wild out on his peoples? Yeah, but he saved his daughter. Saved his daughter. Well, he didn't execute his daughter. He let her live.
Yeah, he spared his daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah, were those all your thoughts, or you have any more?
Nah, I mean, that's it. Like, I'm really impressed with his ability and how the orbs work out. I mean, I was saying before I had theories about how effective they may or may not be depending on the situation, but I mean, if this is him all day 24/7, he should have been pulling up to a lot more situations to help. Remember when Shen fought against the Karate Man?
Yeah.
What was his thing?
Damn.
Right, he was just really strong.
Feng is his name. Yeah, he was just very strong.
Man, gangster. that was his ability. Yeah, it would have been real nice to have his support.
Yeah.
I don't know what he was working on. Maybe he told Juice to fuck off. He has his own thing to do. Who knows?
Yeah.
But he's a real one. He delivered. The author delivered on. And that's why I got the RGC.
All right. I can vibe with that. I'll get into my thoughts, I suppose. Yeah, this was also my RGC. I'll do it for myself.
Certified RGC. Certified RGC. Certified RGC.
Yeah, Nico was one of those characters that I've been waiting to find out his backstory for a long time, because he's always been like the interesting crazy guy that's on top of the orbs and just floated around, crazy mad scientist guy. Never did I think that he was going to be this dark and sad. It's pretty depressing, and I love that the reveal of his negation. Unforgettable. It's pretty cool. I agree. He's just a tragic kind of character overall. I don't think he's doing this to say fuck the Union or whatever. He's just in a tough place right now.
Yeah.
You know, the world's about to end. Basically, Union lost for the most part. So yeah, it's not looking good. So I don't super blame him for jumping ship. But I just noticed this too. Like, his head is hooked up to the astral dolls. So I think if you look at the 2-page spread where he summons Gina and Void, you see the little like strings pointing to them, to the orbs. So I think as long as he stays connected to them in that way, because his memories are feeding these astral dolls, then maybe that's the secret.
Wow, that was really that was sharp. I did not notice that, man.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of hard to catch if you don't look at it in the 2-page spread. Although I guess you could still see it. But it almost looks like it's a part of like the robot's design. Like it has like a line.
Yeah. But it's like linked to his like forehead things. He's got these jacks in his head. But that being said, yeah, I really like this. I thought that was really cool. This is just like an interesting twist for Undead Unluck, and for a series that's had so many twists and turns at the end of each arc in sometimes a very whiplash way. This is probably my favorite. Just because it's just so sad and tragic, and it feels like kind of a natural thing to be happening right now. I'm enjoying Nico's ability. I'm glad he's living up to the hype that I had for him when I've been reading, for as long as I've been reading Undead Unluck. And I wonder what's going to happen. I think like Andy's going to have to just kill him and then try to recruit him again in the next cycle. But I'm excited for it. I don't have much other thoughts. This is my favorite chapter. It's been a while since Undead Unluck won for RGC in my eyes, but I'm glad that it did. You guys ready to move onward?
Yeah.
All right, we got one more thing. 2 more questions. We got 2 questions from Sketchy Mike this week. The first one's pretty simple, I think. Sketchy Mike asks, let me pull it up real fast. I have it right here. Who is the flyest manga character in the last 30 years? Arbitrary amount of time, I imagine, but because 30 years is as long as I've been alive, just about. So
just about, not even really.
Close.
Almost.
Close.
A little bit less for me.
Close. But yeah, so the last 30 years, I guess in general, as far as we've been reading manga, who are the I guess best dressed characters, the best looking characters, I guess, to grace the pages? Josh, what are your answers for this one?
Okay. I thought it was just one.
Oh, it could be one. It could be one. It could be multiple.
So, a few of them came to mind, but the one that stood out the most to me that is just iconic was Kizaru.
Did you like the pinstripe?
Yes. The pinstripe suit pulling up to whoop your ass, son. Even if you look at the other admirals, they're just kind of playing battle. Like, they have, like, their sailor uniform, the admiral kind of uniform. He's casual with it. And smooth. No, he's style. He's like, nah, I'm not dressing in no Navy fucking apparel. I'm gonna put this shit on and I'm gonna pull up to the scene and it's over.
I don't know if you've seen Akainu without his jacket, but he has like this red suit.
I see it.
Yeah. He has a all red suit underneath. He has like this tattoo.
He's pretty clean too.
Yeah, he's pretty clean. But yeah.
But on the pin, that's extra swaggy. Come on.
It is extra swaggy. Was that your guy?
That's my guy, yo.
Yeah. I guess I'll go next. I don't know if Brian, do you have your guy yet?
Brian around the south.
What'd you say, Brian?
You can go first.
Yeah, I also had a couple. I was gonna say Crocodile actually.
Oh, that's a good one. One piece.
Yeah, so many people fight in just a nice Ferragamo suit. Just like Crocodile pulls up to Full Wars. It's just like the finest Gucci suit that you can find. But I guess like I feel like I had to pick someone from JoJo. Because he's got like, I feel like Araki, I've seen how he draws. He uses a lot of like reference work. That's why they pose so weird. He like grabs actual references from like these books, these like statues, like statue books and like fashion magazines and stuff like that. But I don't know, Jotaro, man.
Jotaro.
And he is just wearing a school uniform, but he fucking has a giant unnecessary chain on the neckline of it or something, the collar. He has like his hat that kind of fuses into his hair in the back. I don't know how you do that. That's swaggy as hell.
What's that hat? It doesn't have like the back?
No, it's a hat that just like, I guess the back of it, there's no back really.
Yeah.
So you just see like that. Yeah, I think you know what's funny? I watched the Beyonce documentary a while back, and she had one of those hats that like the back, there's no back to it, so her hair was just coming out of it. It was like, oh, she's a fan of JoJo.
This is your boy.
That's my boy. That's Jotaro. You gotta pick somebody from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, man. You got to.
See the boy.
He knows what he's got. He's rocking it.
Oh, guys, y'all gotta pull up to the YouTube.
Yeah, Josh is showing examples.
Jump City Podcast on YouTube. Pull up, guys. Look at that shit.
It's good,
what
right?
Is that?
It's
an anchor? Gold anchor around his neck?
Not an anchor. He just has an arbitrary chain that hangs off of his collar for no reason.
Yeah, go. Oh. It's not around his neck. It's just like on one side.
Yeah.
Hold up like, hey, I don't know. I guess it's lit.
Yeah.
Cool as hell on this Funko.
Yeah, but that's my guy. Brian, who do you have?
All right, I'm gonna go with Dirty Deku. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm gonna go with all right, so I'm gonna go with Young Joseph Joestar.
Whoa. The second.
Watch it. I won't watch it.
Why not? Why?
I'm not going to watch. Is this propaganda? Is that
No. I was actually. I promise you. I was just thinking about it.
Up. What the fuck is going on here?
What, like, character design in JoJo is pretty good, actually. It's pretty decent.
Josh is backing away from the. You guys got to watch New Jump City on YouTube, because then you get Josh's physical comedy.
Now let me.
But I have one more.
Okay.
And this one's gonna be a little bit of a throwback. Not a lot of people bring this one up anymore. I'm gonna go with Tsunayoshi.
Yo.
Oh,
Rippy with the suit coming in, fucking doing his thing.
Tsunayo, the main character from Hitman Reborn.
Yeah. Oh,
I can't believe you don't remember his name.
Oh, how could I have forgotten? Oh, that's Swag Boy City.
Yeah, he like the drip on that show is pretty fucking fire.
It is pretty fire.
Even Lambo. Wait, what was the name of the fucking
Adult Lambo?
Lambo.
Yeah,
Adult Lambo was swagged out.
Lambo.
That guy had some fucking drip.
When he smoked the dude at the in his last fight, it could turn into an adult and said, "What, you thought I was frail?"
Oh my god, you just made me want to read Hitman Reborn again. Those are
Reread it.
What a great series.
I don't know if I read it through all the way.
It's a shame. Viz stopped like putting out volumes for Hitman Reborn a long time ago. Like they didn't finish the series ever. They just kind of stopped in the middle.
Volumes?
Yeah. They got to like 20 something or they got to some like 16 or something, and then they stopped putting them out, which is sad. I wish they would finish it. But man, what a great series that was. That was my childhood. I'm almost afraid to go back to it because I don't want to find out that it's whack. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to. You ever had that with nostalgic shit?
The art on Hitman Reborn is really, really fucking good.
Oh yeah, Akira Asano.
I bet it's still
My favorite. The Future arc was really good. It took a long time, but it was. I thought it was good.
Oh man, you got me going. I gotta go find it.
Oh, like I'm sorry about the mother being the same person born again into the daughter, and then like the grandmother was the same person too, and this dude like fell in love with all three, like the fucking grandma, the mom, and the daughter. Like that shit was so weird. It was so weird.
I'll tell you what, I don't remember that, bro.
Oh man, that was. Yeah.
But
I need to rewatch the series.
Yeah.
Or reread.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you go. That's our first question of our favorite fly characters. The second question: what event, story beat, development from any series had you most hyped from a story in the moment since you started reading manga? So basically, what's our favorite moment? What moments stick out to us? I imagine.
I go first.
Yeah, go for it, Brian.
All right. So I was thinking about it. I'm like, there's not a lot of moments that got me fucking hype as fuck than Takamura versus Brian Hawk. That shit was fucking legendary. That was a legendary fucking manga fight.
You know what's funny about that, Brian? I'm in the middle of a rewatch of Hajime no Ippo. Guess where I am? The Takamura Brian Hawk fight. Man, there's a moment where Takamura has been knocked out, but he's like fighting on instinct and he's just like going ham, and he actually like knocks Brian Hawk down, but then he like comes to and he's like, wait, no, you better get the fuck up. I'm not the champion.
I need to remember beating that.
Yeah. I'm not going to be the champion unless I remember what punch I knocked you out with.
beast.
Hajime no Ippo is responsible for a lot of very hype moments in my youth. I will give you that, Brian. That's a good call.
Is that how the series is gonna end? Is it gonna be Ippo versus him?
No way.
He's too many weight classes above him.
He still hasn't fought against Ricardo yet, right?
As far as I know, no. I'm
Sendo recently fought.
Don't say anything, Brian. Shut up.
Stop.
God, shut the fuck up, Brian.
I need to read that shit again.
I'm so behind, dude. It's crazy.
Okay.
But yeah, okay, that's a good moment. I guess we could do one. It sucks because I wish this is one. We may come back to this. I want to do this as a list because there are so many fucking moments. I think that's what's great about shonen manga is that the best part about it is moments. These hype moment. They really know how to build drama and suspense in manga more than any other medium I've seen.
Where you remember where you were when you first saw it.
Yeah.
I remember where I was the first time I watched Rock Lee versus Gaara. I remember that shit.
Ooh, that was crazy.
That was crazy.
Josh, what's yours? Do you have yours yet?
I do, but I want to talk about a few of them before I give my main one.
Hey, go for it.
I'm going to say the first one I'm going to drop is the classic one. The one that got me into manga in the first place that I'm sure I've said on the podcast before, so I'll be a little brief about it. I remember being into the Naruto anime and, the Chunin exams, the Sasuke retrieval arc and all that. And some of the stuff with Tsunade, all of that was so cool and I couldn't wait, to see what more was happening. And I was currently in the middle of what I didn't know at the time to be filler, I remember it not being as cool and they wasn't showing new episodes at the time. It had ended up resetting when I was watching it. Cause it wasn't on demand. I would just catch it on TV. Then they had restarted it from an earlier arc and I was just damn, whatever. So one day I'm in class. I remember I was in high school. I think it was my junior year and we had a substitute for math class. And, one of the students was on one of the computers and they was reading a comic and it was Naruto. And the chapter it happened to be was when Naruto pulls up to the village.
Yeah.
And all the fucking toads with this whole village destroyed. And then that chapter was the fight with him fighting against Pain. And literally this is the first time I've ever alright. I've seen manga before. Chris has shown me the Dragon Ball Tankaban he had. He's also brought the big Shonen Jump book before, and he's even showed me the One Piece on the computer. I remember laughing about the soap fruit lady before we even, you know what I'm saying? Before I was even reading manga.
Yeah, that was a mistake on my part.
I asked the dude, yo, can I read it? And he's like, yeah, go ahead. I sat down and read that shit and was like, whoa. That was when, Naruto was fighting against Pain and he was using a Rasenshirk. I'm like, what the fuck is all of this? So after I read that chapter, I went back, the previous chapter so I could see what happened real quick. And then I went back, and then after finishing that one, I went back a chapter again. I was reading it in fucking reverse, and that was it, man. I was I need to go back. And I was all right, let me go to the Chunin exams, and then I just had to start all over. So that was an incredible moment for me. There's also a more of a life one that's not, it has less to do with manga itself and more with how it affected me in life. Which actually has to do with Hajime no Ippo as well. I can't say I remember for sure which arc it was or what lead up to which fight it was, but I do remember seeing it was the cover art for one of the chapters. I guess they got a color page and it had pink leaves, I guess, what do you call it? The cherry blossom leaves falling. And he had his fist up like this, looking up, and the words saying something about working at it or taking things one step at a time. And at the time, I remember I like I never really worked out a lot growing up until like I got into like until I was in college and I was really trying to get on my lacrosse team and shit. So that really helped me, like watching Ippo train for like his fights kind of inspired me to work hard, and I realized that I didn't have to like shame myself for like not being able to do as many push-ups as other people, or like, you know, like not working out for, you know, or just starting out when I was. It just, you know, encouraged me to like, you know, take it a step at a time and be confident. And I live by that now today, you know? So I'll never forget that, man. And I wish I could say what moment, but it was that, like, that picture kind of really had it click for me. And so it had to be during that arc. I want to say it was the lead up to the fight against the dude he knocked out in one fucking punch, which was also an incredible moment, if I say so myself. But, yeah, so that was that. And I guess for like my number one overall, that's a moment that got me hooked in. I'm sorry, I gotta stall because there's a few, and I'm really trying to decide on like what my number one is.
Josh, just to like cut you off, because I do remember something. You know how you were talking about how it says like the first step.
Yeah,
Ippo's name literally means one step in Japanese, and Hajime no Ippo translates out to the first step.
Wow.
Hajime means first.
I never knew that, man.
Yeah.
That's really incredible.
Yeah, I remember learning that a while back. I just wanted to verify it for myself. But yeah, that's the whole thing. But yeah, I'll let you get back into it.
Okay. All right. I think the most hype I ever got while reading the manga, probably, I hate to say it, but I gotta say it, it comes from Bleach.
That's okay. There's no shame in that.
Yeah. It was during the Espada arc, and it was when the three captains. It was Yami, Kenpachi, and the guy that could spread his sword into a whole bunch of
Byakuya.
Like
Byakuya.
Yeah, Byakuya. Yeah, man. As far as like pure excitement and hype and like something that stands out to me, like just for the sake of manga and like literally being animated as I'm reading something, it had to be that as they started cleaning up this asshole of a character, Zero Yami, like as if Tite Kubo knew, like we'll give him. Yeah, I know I don't like this, but it's cool because y'all gonna watch these captains bust him up something real simple and proper. And you know, it was such a trope because it was one of those things where like, yeah, look how easy mode they did this nigga Yami. If they was on the other side while shit was going, you could always make that argument like, oh, if Kenpachi and them went over there, like that fight would have been over. You know what I'm saying? Like they would have definitely the good guys, the Soul Society would have won way swifter. But you'll never know because they didn't make it there. And I remember talking about that for forever, literally, like with you, with other people that was Bleach fans and shit. So that's got to be the moment for me.
Yeah, our old podcast was during that time. We definitely had a podcast. We definitely had the comic spot going when we were covering Bleach at the time. Bleach was still around.
Oh yeah,
but that was when we were in college, and we only had one microphone. We all shared one microphone. But yeah, it was okay. So no more moments outside of that. Yeah.
All right, one more honorable mention. Not the number, but another one that stand out. For My Hero Academia, when Midoriya fought against the Muscle Man, and like went to 1,000,000%. But you know that moment I had to curtail that moment because even though I was so hyped, I was wrong about what happened. See, I thought that moment was kind of implying that the one for all quirk had like basically limitless power, that there was no like limit, you know what I'm saying? There was no cap to it. There was no just 100%. By him going to 1,000,000, that's, you know, it's still arbitrary, you know what I'm saying? Like you could just completely be put like it just. To me, that was really exciting. You know what I'm saying? Because of the like I don't know. It made me think about like this, what heights the series could go to if like there's a power like that's going to be around. You know, if he's doing that this early, oh, like how intense things would get. Like maybe on like a planetary scale or something. But it was more of a metaphorical 1,000,000%.
Yeah, more like the effort he was putting into it.
Yeah, I was wrong. I was wrong. So
okay.
Honorable mention. It was super lit.
Yeah. I'd like to save some of my, like, I have a bunch of them. I mean, obviously we've been reading manga forever, so like to have these moments on us for a while, it's a lot. But I think like the first one that came to mind, and I was thinking of ones that happened recently in my memory. It came from My Hero Academia, actually. And funny enough, from the Overhaul arc. I think I've probably mentioned this a couple times, but it is like that Kirishima and Fat Gum versus Rappa. When it was the end of the chapter where Kirishima went like his like super duper ultra double hard mode. And he was like just taking all the hits. And he was delivering a blow back, but then the shield guy stopped it. And Kirishima was falling back, but then he fell directly into the arms of Fat Gum in his new form. And he was like, he said something cool, like, "Hey, thanks for holding up, little buddy." And he was like ripped with his big dumb smile on, and he was about to punch the flying fuck out of both of these guys. That was such a cool moment. That was like the first time in a long time that like I actually reading it was like, whoa, that was like so cool.
Oh wait, he pulled a Choji, son. That was crazy.
Yeah. It was very reminiscent of that, but that shit was wild.
Yeah.
I remember thinking that like was one of my favorite moments of the series. It's something I can't, when I get through my read through of World Trigger, I'll be doing My Hero next. So I can't wait to relive that experience again. But that was a moment where I was like, fuck. I think it was in class. I don't remember when Overhaul arc was in my life, but I was probably like senior year of high school. I could be wrong about that. Maybe working.
Out that early?
No way.
That was not out in high school. No way.
No, not high school, college. I mean.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I don't know. That was a great moment. I was probably at work or something when I was like, whoa, quietly to myself. What? Yeah. That was a cool moment. Obviously, like moments from Eni's lobby were so cool. I like them a lot. My cat's crying. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but yeah. That being said, that's my moment. Eni's lobby, when they were all standing on top of the fucking roof, looking up at Robin, before she told them that she wanted to live. That was a sick moment where the CP9 was staring down at them. Luffy punching the shit out of Blackbeard and Impel down for the first time. Luffy appearing in Marineford, when he had that big stupid log for no reason. It was just a dope 2-page spread where he was just like standing before the 3 admirals. A lot of One Piece moments. Naruto, of course, tuning exams. Josh mentioned,
if I give another one, when Kuma showed up.
Yeah.
It wasn't a hype moment, but it was definitely like a what the fuck just happened?
Yeah, Kuma disappearing the Straw Hats is a moment that stays to me to this day, honestly. Because I remember that feeling like, what?
What just happened? and then how cool it was when we seen all the locations they dropped in, and we was like, okay. Good. That shit was crazy, man.
Yeah.
Oh, there's got to be. I know there's other ones, man. It go on forever.
Always, but maybe we will one day. Maybe we'll come back to this because this is a great question. And it really is just kind of a celebration of everything that like we love about manga. It's just these like hype moments where we're like, oh
yeah,
let's fucking go. Yeah, it just like makes me want to run through a wall moments. Haikyuu has a lot of those moments for me.
Oh man. Yeah.
Haikyuu, Ice Shield, Bakuman actually had a lot for me too.
Ice Shield for sure. Oh yeah, Bakuman. when he was waiting outside in the cold, and she was like, "I'll take you as my assistant, or we'll work together on this project."
Yeah. There's a moment that's a little bit of a spoiler moment because I do want people to read Bakuman, but it's towards the end that made me I go back to sometimes. It's like, damn, that was great. But yeah,
I want to hear.
Levi versus the Beast Titan.
Really?
The first time when during
when he was sacrificing his
yeah. But when Levi came at him and carved him up, such a moment of catharsis. Because the whole time, Zeke was like, "What? oh."
Oh, yo, that shit was so funny watching it in the anime.
I go back to that moment sometimes. It's just so funny because he's like, "What the
multiple?"
You ever see somebody? He's just not believing he's getting fucked up right now.
Yeah. He couldn't understand.
But yeah, those are my moments. I guess there's a few.
Beginning of Attack on Titan when his mother gets fucking eaten and the dude runs away. Yeah, I was like, what? Oh, then when the Armored Titan pulls up and breaks the wall and makes it worse.
Yeah.
When they think they got the same thing, he was like, "Look at these guys."
Yeah, those are good times. Although I actually don't know if, but this is a general manga. But I guess I don't know if Attack on Titan counts as shonen. But anyway, I guess those are all of ours. We don't have to go any further. We could come back to it if need be. Those are our answers. If you guys have any questions that you want to ask us, you can email us at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com. Tweet us at newjumpcity on Twitter if you want. Tweet us there. Comment under the videos that you're watching below, and we'll answer them. We love answering questions. They're fun. But with that being said, that has been our show. Thank you guys so much for listening. As per usual, you could find me at the Chris Espinal on Twitter and Instagram. Josh at JDCole_37 on Instagram, at NYChillin on Twitter. Brian at B.ESP on Twitter and Instagram. Follow his streaming on twitch.tv/itspunchline. Follow the show itself at New Jump City on Twitter and Instagram. Take part in the poll that we put up, our really good chapter of the week poll. We should be putting up a monthly one soon for our monthly episode coming up at some point. So look out for that. For our monthly chapters, you can subscribe to us. Give us a subscribe on YouTube. Give us a like. Give us a share. Comment. All that stuff. You can, if you like audio podcasts, you can subscribe to us on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. We're likely on there. Give us a 5-star review on any of those platforms. Also, that would be super nice of you. But yeah, that's it. Thank you guys so much for listening, and stay safe, New Jump citizens. We'll see you next week.
Peace out, guys.
Deuces.
Brian's got an Adidas hat on.